Warning: sensitive images.
Peace for Ukraine or Ukraine now. Russia, just go home.
Be vegan. Make peace. Do good deeds. Heaven Godspeed.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
In 2019, Supreme Master Ching Hai, vegan, gratefully presented the Humane Society of the United States with the Shining World Benevolence Award, plus a humble contribution of $50,000 to further its noble work. Let's learn more about their latest achievements.
Whether you're vegan or a meat eater, we can all agree it's just wrong to keep an animal locked in a cage so small she can barely move.
Continue watching to find out more.
Vegan, 'cause we can't murder en masse and expect a good atmosphere for our world.
If you are fortunate to travel to Martinique, you might hear bonjour when you enter a new place. It means hello in French, the official language of Martinique. I'm Elena. The warm-hearted people of Martinique wish you good health and security. Welcome to today's show, Humane Society of the United States, improving the lives of animal people through legislation. Today, we will meet Chris Holbein, vegan, Director of Public Policy for Farm Animal Protection at the Humane Society of the United States, and learn about his organization's compassionate work to improve the lives of our animal friends in cruel animal people raising factories through legislative changes. In 2019, Supreme Master Ching Hai, vegan, gratefully presented the Humane Society of the United States with the Shining World Benevolence Award, plus a humble contribution of $50,000 to further its noble work.
Supreme Master Ching Hai, vegan, is deeply grateful to the most merciful, beloved God for all the financial help, comfort, and support to the afflicted and needy, and/or any good cause over the years. As a humble vessel for Here's compassion and love toward Here's precious children.
Mr. Holbein starts by telling us how his vegan journey began.
So I became vegetarian and then vegan in my teenage years after watching videos of the brutal ways that so many animals are treated on factory farms. And I knew I cared about animals. And then after seeing those videos, it really told me that I needed to shift my own diet towards a vegan one.
In 2008, the state of California passed a law known as Proposition 2 or Prop 2, which banned some of the most horrific abuse our animal friends are subjected to at industrial animal people raising operations. Mr. Holbein tells us what Prop 2 and its follow-up legislation, Proposition 12 or Prop 12, aim to achieve for the animal people.
So it started back in 2008. When the Humane Society of the United States and other leading animal protection organizations passed a law through referendum in California that would ban the extreme confinement of egg-laying hens, mother pigs, and calves used for veal. And the measure got strong support across the state, and it took effect. Prop 12, which came a decade later, built on Prop 2 by strengthening the requirements for animals and making them apply to meat and eggs sold in California, as well as meat and eggs produced in California.
Proposition 12, the Farm Animal Confinement Initiative, which was an amendment of the requirements of Proposition 2, is considered the most substantial protection measure for beings raised in intensive animal people raising factories in the United States. It dramatically improves the living conditions of mother pigs, hen people, and cows in California. Prop 12 also prohibits any business from selling in California if the products are produced in a way that violates Prop 12 standards. When governments fail to make needed legislative changes, one option in some countries, including the United States, is to have laws passed by referendum, which is how Prop 2 and Prop 12 were passed. Mr. Holbein explains the process and how the Humane Society won support from a huge number of people to achieve this legal precedent for our animal friends in California.
The process in any ballot measure, such as Prop 12, includes collecting an enormous number of signatures from voters across the state. And when we told people about what was going on behind the scenes, especially in the egg industry and the pork industry, they were horrified, and they said that they want reforms. I think one thing that's important to note about Prop 12 and other legislation is that it gets so much support from people regardless of what diet they follow. Whether you're vegan or a meat eater, we can all agree it's just wrong to keep an animal locked in a cage so small she can barely move.
No to vegan, cause you want to experience how hot the hellfire is on your body. Sure, you'll for a long, long time.
Attentive viewers, it is clear that passing a law by referendum depends upon a hard-working campaign and legal team leading a large group of compassionate supporters. Just as a train needs a powerful locomotive to pull it long distances. Let us take a moment to thank those heroes. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television. Welcome back, genuine viewers. Mr. Holbein continues to share with us the role of the Humane Society of the United States, or HSUS, in having California Proposition 2 and Proposition 12 passed into law, as well as other successful legislative changes.
It was a landmark measure. It took place in 2018. It followed on the heels of a 2016 ballot measure in Massachusetts that did largely the same thing in terms of banning that extreme confinement. And those two laws, in conjunction with laws we've passed before and since, are really making profound changes in how animals are treated across the United States. HSUS was the lead organization on both Prop 2 in California in 2008 and in Prop 12 in 2018. And we've also been working closely with the state of California since Prop 12 was passed to defend it in court.
Legal changes are good, but only if they are enforced. So how can we know that these laws will be implemented? Being one of the key players in this initiative, Mr. Holbein assures us that HSUS is doing all it can to ensure that these new rules are followed.
The California Department of Food and Agriculture is put in charge of regulating and ensuring that Prop 12 is acted upon. And they released, after Prop 12 was passed, guidelines for producers on how to come into compliance with Prop 12.
Mr. Holbein adds that passing a law by ballot requires a great deal of funds, resources, and effort. It is not a task usually undertaken by an individual or a small organization. In fact, the HSUS launched the campaign committee, which raised $13.31 million for this project.
Passing a ballot measure is a huge undertaking, and it requires a significant amount of personnel resources and financial resources as well. And we are fortunate to be the Prop 12 campaign and Prop 2, both generously supported by donors, both large and small, who wanted to see these important reforms passed. And we used those resources to collect signatures to help facilitate, the printing costs of all these petitions. Just so many, the office space needed for it to help fly staff to California so that we could collect signatures ourselves. And then the advertising during the campaign and the get out the vote efforts all require a significant investment. And a ballot measure is a very hard thing to undertake. I don't know of any individuals who have tried to do it themselves. I think it's almost always spearheaded by an organization like the Humane Society and our allies. So it is a real undertaking. In all the ballot initiatives we've passed, volunteers across the state were crucial in gathering signatures, speaking with voters, and finding many ways to spread the word. So we would not have had so much success with these ballot initiatives if it was not for our volunteers.
While the referendum system allows hardworking, compassionate activists from organizations such as the Humane Society to force changes through legislation with the support of the population, it only works one state at a time. HSUS wants to duplicate its successes in California and Massachusetts in other U.S. states.
We passed a very similar measure in Massachusetts 2 years before Prop 12 in 2016. And while not identical, they are very similar. Since Prop 12 was passed, we have worked in multiple states across the country to pass legislation as opposed to a ballot initiative, so legislation through the normal channels to prohibit the extreme confinement of egg-laying hens in cages. Those include states like Arizona and Washington and Oregon and several others. So that has been a significant success. And we've recently seen the egg industry going from, over the past decade, the egg industry has gone from low single-digit percentages of being cage-free to now being in the mid-30 percentages. And every 1% that is moved in that direction represents about 3 million hens per year. And so cage-free, as many vegans know, is far from perfect, but it is a significant improvement that these hens are able to spread their wings and walk around and perch and dust bathe.
Thank you, the Humane Society of the United States, Chris Holbein, and everyone involved for your efforts to lessen our animal friends' inhumane treatment and ultimately end their senseless suffering. May your benevolent endeavors be blessed with God's grace. To learn more about the Humane Society of the United States, please visit humanesociety.org.
Everything seemed to point to the same notion that animal products are the result of abused, slaughtered, and exploited animals. Kuntal Joshua, vegan.
Kind viewers, thank you for your pleasant company today. Please join us again next Tuesday, March 14th, for part 2 of our show. Coming up next is Heaven's Revelations about Future World Events, part 2 of 5, on Between Master and Disciples, right after Noteworthy News. May you be guided by your intelligence and intuition on how best to defend our precious animal people co-inhabitants and support the world's transition to the Golden Age.
Russia, leave Ukraine or you reign now. Peace be with you too.
Be vegan. Make peace. Do good deeds. Hell not reach.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/VEG.
Nos programmes offrent plusieurs langues. Veuillez visiter suprememastertv.com/schedule et suprememastertv.com/VEG.
Nuestros programas ofrecen varios idiomas. Visiten suprememastertv.com/schedule y suprememastertv.com/VEG.
Nossos programas oferecem vários idiomas. Acesse suprememastertv.com/schedule e suprememastertv.com/VEG.